Hey team, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, team. Thank you for joining this Saturday morning. So we would expect to start by sharp 10 o'clock. We'll start in another 2 or 3 minutes. Hey, I could hear some background noises. Is there anyone mute? Okay, let's get started. Okay, good morning team. Um, it's a common trend found in our automation testing interviews to have a machine test. Um, usually, in the case of machine test, we'll be having two sessions. First session would be the candidates would be encouraged to write or explain few legacy Java programs. So in the next session will be we are expected to automate a sample or demo application. So in this session today, we're going to discuss those typical Java legacy questions and things that we usually face in our automation technical interviews. So please feel free to post all your questions and comments in our chat window. We are more than happy to answer all your questions. And please subscribe our channel to get latest trending QA related videos. So today, Sarah will walk you through the rest of the session. Hey Sarah, it's all to you. It's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Good morning, team. I'm Farsana on behalf of Obscura Zone. Okay, so today we are actually going through some most common Java interview questions that is asking that is asking for machine test and machine test interview questions. Okay, Java basic machine test interview questions. So generally we can actually classify the programs based on the implementation logic, how we are implementing the programs. On that way we can basically classify our program. So today we are moving on to just completely basic Java programs, which is like completely basic and basic questions. Okay, so basically I would say that we can classify our programs based on the implementation, which is like loops, conditional statements. When we are implementing with arrays, we can also implement with strings. And moving on to some higher part, we can implement the logics of OOPS concepts and all, also in collections. Okay, so basically today we are moving on to programs which we can implement using loops only. Okay, so yeah, so today we are discussing the topics, the programs, basic programs like pattern programs, and the programs using loops. Okay, using loops, I have prepared the programs for swapping two variables, that is without using temporary variables, and factorial of a given number. That is basically the most common questions which is asking for interviews, like factorial of a given number, or yeah, that's it. And Fibonacci series, which is another most commonly asked question, and to find a number is prime number or not, reversing a number or string, palindrome, etc. These are the most commonly asking questions. So we can go through one by one in these programs. We can go through one by one. Okay, so firstly we can move on to programs from patterns. Okay, so patterns basically we'll ask for printing different types of patterns. Okay, so we can start with the basic patterns, and first of all, the most commonly asked pattern is like first a right angled triangle pattern. Okay, so for this we need some we can implement this pattern using loops. Okay, so using for loop we can implement the triangle shape. We can implement a triangle shape using these patterns. So for loops, okay, 1 second. So basically we need to print number of lines. What's the number of how many lines we have, that we need to that we would have one number of iterations. Okay, so for first for loop we'll be giving how many lines we need to have. Okay, so here the right triangle I have implemented has 4 lines. That is four lines we have, 4 line of stars we have. So that's what we need to give it first. So in this part I'll give for loop in I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, so that it will iterate for I which is less than or equal to 5, and I will increment. And So next thing, J loop will be setting that J is less than or equal to I. So first the I will be 1 and J will when coming to J loop, it will basically it will share whether if J equal to 0, J less than or equal to I, because so J less than or equal to I means 0 less than 1, less than or equal, not less than or equal to, less than. So 0 less than 1, then J will increment. So in the inside we are printing star. Okay, what we need to print here, that we need to print in the print loop, inside the print statement we need to give that. So star. And if we need space in between this, we can give a space also in that. So it'll print this pattern like that. First one star. So first, basically, if I equal to 1, yeah, I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, and I plus plus, and it will get into the next loop for J equal to 0, J less than or equal to I. Yes, J less than or equal to, that is 0 less than 1, then J plus plus, and it will print 1 star. Okay, then next loop also I will iterate, and I iterate I equal to 2. I'll increment I iterate to 2, and I less than or equal to 5 again. Yes, true. So again the loop will continue in to I equal to up to the condition that satisfy I less than or equal to 5. So if I equal to 6, it will exit the loop. Okay, so we will get this pattern like this. Okay, this is the first most basic pattern that is asking, or that is like we are getting in the interviews and all. We are getting the most basic triangular pattern, the right triangle pattern. Okay, here the next one is we are getting a reverse right triangle. Okay, the same right triangle which is reversing. So here we need to give firstly how many lines, I mean how many columns. It is like based on the rows and columns. Okay, so firstly in the right triangle, reverse right triangle, we need to firstly give how many columns we have. Okay, so we need 5 columns. If we need 5 columns, we need to set the value of columns firstly. Okay, so here there's 5 columns, 1 2 3 4 5, and for the first row there's 5 columns. So we need to give I equal to 5 firstly, and we need to check I greater than or equal to 0. Okay, then I need to decrement, not increment, decrement for the reverse right triangle. Okay, and second loop we are giving for the second loop we are giving the number of rows. Okay, so first row J equal to 1, J less than or equal to I. We are checking like J less than or equal to I. Okay, then J plus plus, and this is a print loop. We are like, if we are printing star, we can give star, and if we need a space inside the space between this, we can give a space also. Okay, so here we are like in this patterns we are like giving rows and columns. The patterns is like how many rows and how many columns we need. That in that way we are giving the loops. Okay, in the both patterns, like first loop is for the columns, and for second loop is for the rows. Okay, so if we are printing we are printing like a rows and columns, we need to, if we want in this like this pattern or in a metric form, please note that we need to give first the print statement as print. Okay, print only, not println. Println will give a new line. Okay, new line, here only we will get a new line. So firstly we need to print that entire column, right? So inside the for loop, inside the second for loop, inside the row loop, we need to give only print system dot out dot print star. What we need to print inside that we need to give, and after that loop, that is after the inner loop, we need to give the just a system out print ln statement also we need to give, so that it will print a new line. Okay, so in that way we can give and we will get the output accordingly. Okay, so here these are two are right triangles, that is a basic right angled triangle, and a reverse right angled triangle. Okay, so this is the only thing. First we need to decide how many the number of rows and number of columns. Okay, first we need to give number of columns, and second loop, in the second for loop we need to give number of rows. Okay, so firstly, when we are giving how many number of rows, if we need only one, how many number of columns, that is like we need to first give. So if we have in this pattern, like this pattern, we can actually give I equal to 1, because in the first row we only have one column, right? So so we are giving I equal to 1, and how many number of columns total, that's what in the condition part we need to give. So I less than or equal to 5, and I increment. And for the next part, that is for the inner loop, we are giving j equal to 0. That is, first we need to give a 0, and then j condition, the condition we need to check whether the j is less than or equal to I, and we can increment the loops. Okay, so this is the thing for the first two right triangles, right angle triangle and reverse right angle triangle. Okay, so the next pattern also is like that. Here we are like printing we can give. Here also I think you can understand now how to give that. First give the row number, column number, and second loop we need to give the row number. Okay, so here for a square pattern, both the numbers are same, that is column numbers and row numbers are same, so that we can give how many columns we are, that is according to our wish, how many columns we need to give, how many columns we need to have, and how many rows we need to have. Okay, so here I got given as I equal to, from I equal to 1, and I have this 5 columns, right? So I've given us I less than or equal to 5, and for the row part also I have 5 rows, and I given as j equal to 1, j less than or equal to 5, or either we can give j less than or equal to I, because both are the same, right? So yeah, then we can print star. If we need to print star, then we can give star, and if we need to print any other thing, like any other alphabets or something, like I'll explain you how to print the alphabets and numbers later, and we can give accordingly what to print. I can give accordingly. And please note one thing: if we are if we are printing in a row and column and row pattern, we need to first give only print method, and next in the inner loop we need to give only print method, and outside the loop only we need to give we have to give this println. Okay, so that's it. The square pattern. Okay, the other pattern is like this is also a triangle pattern, but the difference between this is, here we are like firstly printing a right triangle that is like this, and here we are like going to print the exact mirror image of that thing. Okay, that is right angle triangle and mirror image. Okay, so here look right here, that is we can say that it is lower right angle triangle. If we are like looking onto a square, it is a lower and upper right angle triangle, right? So it is a lower matrix. We can say that it's a lower matrix or lower right angle triangle, etc. So here we need to give a space, right? We need to have the first star after this 4 space. Okay, so that's what we need to first implement. So we need to have one more loop for this space also. Okay, so here the program is like first we need to we need to implement how many columns are there. That's we need to implement first, that we need to write first. And for in I equal to 0, I less than or pi, I plus plus, that is for number of columns. And second loop is for number, how many space we need to have. Okay, so that space calculation, that is 2 into 5 minus I, that is how many space we need to have in the first column. Okay, that is what we did in second loop, that is second for loop. And here inside that second for loop, we printed just a space. Okay, we printed just a space, we printed in that second loop. And for the third loop, that is the number of rows loop, and there we printed what we need to have, that is star or something like that. We'll print that in the third for loop. Okay, so here basically we are using 3 loops. So first one is for columns, second one is for space, and third one is for rows. Okay. Yeah, hello. Sorry for the interruption. Some background noises are there. Just 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, okay. So the next thing, we can move on to how we can print the characters. This is the most common thing that is asked in the interviews and all. You need to print the characters using characters or numbers, that is alphabetical loop or number loop, etc. So that's the next most commonly asked things for interviews. Okay, so while we moving to character patterns or like number patterns, we can ask in many types. That is, we need to print like this A B B, C C C D D D, etc. And also we can ask like first for the first column it is A, for the first row it is A, then next column A B, then A B C, A B C D, etc. to increment like that. Okay, we can ask in different ways, either in alphabets or in numbers. Okay, we can ask in different ways. So what we need to do that is, first we need to assign a char values. So char values means from where to where. Okay, that limit we need to set. Okay, so here I have set char value A and char value B. Okay, actually I have initialized and assigned A to this char value A, and then to char value B, char B, I have assigned E, that is A to E. I need to print A to E. Okay, so and the next thing is basically that what we used for the star pattern, number of rows and number of columns. First number of columns and second numbers. Okay, so first here we need to note that here the thing is, we are not initializing like we are not incrementing in a integer values. Here we need to increment as character. So char I equal to A. Okay, not int I, char I. Okay, so we initialized for I. Actually, A is initialized firstly for I. Okay, char I equal to A. I less than or equal to B, that is E. Okay, so here check char I equal to A, I less than or equal to E, then I'll increment. So for the next loop, that is for the second loop, char J equal to A and J less than or I. Okay, that is just like the right angle triangle that what we checked in the right angle triangle, and J will increment. And here we need to print I. Okay, system.out.print I, because inside this I only the values are there, A or B. What is the value A to E? The values inside that I. Okay. If we need to print a number pattern for this in the square or in the right triangle, if we need to print a number pattern, that is 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, etc. We just need to print this I or J. Okay, because inside this I or J there's that values, like that increment values are there, right. So if we are printing I or J, we'll get the output accordingly. Okay, so here I'll firstly initialize the loops and print the printed I. Okay, then says, so we'll get the pattern like this: B B, C C C, D D D D, E E E E. Firstly, if we are printing I, we'll get that, because for I values are always like that, right? J value only will increment for every group. That is, firstly I equal to A, I less than or equal to B will check, that is I less than or equal to E is true. Then we'll come on to next loop, J equal to A and J less than or equal to I. Yes, J is less than or equal to J plus plus, and will print I value. So I is J, A will print. And next I will increment, J will increment. Again it will check, J will increment, so J equal to B, J less than or equal to I. Yes, it is less than or equal to I. Then it will print B. Okay, so accordingly it will print to E only. E it will print. Okay, and for this pattern, that is, if we need A B, A B C, and A B C D, we can actually print this. Instead of I, we can print J, because in the J value, the incremented values are inside the J, right? So we can print J instead of I. Okay, I'll show the program. Just a second. Yeah, I'll show in the program how this pattern will getting. So see, here I have printed J value. Okay, so we'll get the output as A B, A B C, A and A B C D and E. So if we are printing I, it will give the output as A B B C C D D. Okay, I think you guys will understand the difference between those two patterns, right? And in the star pattern also, if we need to print like that, that 1 2 3 4 5 etc., we can give either I or J inside the print statement. Okay, so back to the slide. Yeah, here this is the next pattern. Okay, sorry. Yeah, this is the next pattern. This is like a upper and lower triangle, right? Say basically a three-sided equilateral triangle or something like that, we can say. That is a full triangle, that it is like that. Okay, so while implementing this thing, we need to first implement the upper triangle and then implement the lower triangle. Okay, I'll show how it is. So first, for upper triangle, we are giving that. Okay, first we need to give the number of columns, like the above patterns. As we saw in the above patterns, we need to give how many number of columns we need, that we'll have, that we will giving the first for loop, and the next inner loop we are giving the space. Okay, That is, what we see is, so in the that mirror image of the right triangle base in okay. So here we are giving the space. So in J equal to 5 minus I, that is 5 means the total number of columns, that minus I. So 5 minus 0. Okay. And J greater than or equal to 1. We'll check J is greater than or equal to 1. Then J will decrementing J. Okay. So that's what we are giving for space, and we'll just print a space. So it will give a space in the point itself. Okay. And next for the J, next loop we'll print what star. Okay. What we need to print inside that triangle, in the triangle, what we need to print, that we will give here, that is star. Okay. So in J equal to 0, J less than or I, J plus plus, and a space, new line also we need to have. So in while implementing this thing, that is this lines, we will get a triangle like this, only the upper triangle. Okay. So here we are checking, firstly the giving the column number, secondly we are giving the space, condition for space, that is loop for space, and the third part we are giving the row number. Okay. So inside the row, inside that loop we are giving the what we need to print. Okay. So now we need to print the lower triangle. So upper triangle is done, next thing we need to print the lower triangle. Okay. So lower triangle, firstly what we need to do, give is column number, and column number firstly it is like I equal to 5. How many columns we need to have, that we need to give first. So I equal to 5, I greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus, I need to decrement, right? So that's what we need to give first. And second thing, in the second loop we need to give the space. Then you look for space, we need to print a space. So the condition right above, the condition is like J equal to 5 minus I, that is the total number of columns minus I. Okay. And J greater than or equal to 1, J minus minus. And we will be printing the space, and also so space is done, and then we'll be printing what we need to print, that is star or 1 2 3. If we need to print 1 2 3, we'll just need to give J. Okay. If we need to print 1 2 2 3 3 3, in like that, we need to print I. Okay. So accordingly, what is our need, we can give it like that. Or if we need to print characters, we can give the limit, the char values inside this, we can give the char values. Okay. So these are the basic patterns that we are asking in the interview questions, that is in the machine test, or like some basic Java questions in a for QA interview, and for also for development interview. These are the basic common patterns that is asking. Also they will ask for the like implement a butterfly pattern and something like that. We can integrate these patterns, and we can formulate, or we can make a butterfly pattern, etc. accordingly. Okay. So you can try out these patterns. We'll share the code in the comment section. You can try out. Okay. Sorry, there is some background noises here. Yeah. So we can move on to next question, that is like swapping two numbers. Okay, this is also a most common and most basic interview question that is asking for interviews, mostly for freshers. If you are going for a fresher interview as a fresher, in that interviews, the questions will be maybe come, that is swapping. Okay, swapping two numbers, that is swapping two numbers. Okay. So for swapping, we can use two methods. We can able to swap the numbers, that is using temporary variable and without using temporary variable. Okay. So first we can look on to how to swap a number using temporary variable, and then without using temporary variable we can look on to. Okay, so firstly we need to I'll give initialize a variable, initialize two variables with numbers. If I am here I am given this a equal to 5 and b equal to 20. Okay, basically what we need to expect, what's the output we need to have is a equal to 20 and b equal to 5. Okay, so that is what swapping between the variables. Okay, numbers between the variables. So first we can check using temporary variable how to do. So here I have initialized a equal to 5 and b equal to 20, and in a temp value also I have initialized. So before swapping, if I want to print the value before swapping, I can give a print statement here only, a equal to 5 and to print a and b. So here we will get the output as value before swapping 5 and 20. Okay, so now we are doing our operation, what we need to do. So we have assigned the temp value also, right? We have okay. So to that temp value, firstly we are assigned this a. Okay, temp equal to a. Sorry, just hold on 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so to the temp value, we are like first sets the a. Okay, so 5 we are assigned to the temp value. So here now the 5 a equal temp equal to 5. Okay, then we are copied the value of b, that is 20 to a. Okay, so now the value of a is 20, and the a value, that is 5, is copied to temp value, right? So we can copy that temp value to b. Okay, so b equal to temp. So now we are this is a simple logic, right? That is firstly we are assigned a equal to 5 and b equal to 20, and now we will get that like a equal to b, that is 20 is we sets to a, and b equal to temp. For inside this temp value there is 5, right? So b equal to 5. So after swapping, we will get the value as a equal to 20 and b equal to 5. Okay, that's the thing when we are using a temporary variable. Okay, so without using temporary variable, how we can do this? A equal to 5 and b equal to 20, the same thing, and we need to assign the value by some calculations. Okay, so we can first calculate a equal to a plus b. So we will get 25 into a, then b equal to a minus b. So now a is what, 25. So 25 minus b 5. Okay, b 20. So b is like 5. That is 25 minus 20. That is 5. So to the b we will get the 5, and a equal to a minus b. So a is now 25, and 25 minus b, that is b is now what, 5, right? So 25 minus 5, that is 20. So to a and b we will get the values accordingly. Okay, so without using temporary variable, we are like adding two numbers and assigning first to a, and then subtracting the numbers and assign to b, and again subtracting and assign to a. Okay, so then after we are like printing, we'll get the value as a equal to 20 and b equal to what, 5. Okay, Yeah, that's it. I think you get this logic for swapping two numbers with using temporary variable and without using temporary variable. So first, so I think it is like you people are understand, right? How to do the swapping of two numbers without using temporary variable and with using temporary variable. Okay, I'll share the code in the command part. Okay, so third thing.
Okay.
Yeah, hello.
Let me add a point. Like in some
Yeah,
interviews, the interviewer exclusively asking you like without using the temporary variable. They specifically mention
yeah,
that like,
yeah,
because 90% of our candidate will be doing with by implementing the temporary variable, but the interviews are expecting
yeah,
without using the temporary variable. That's why we
yes,
are trying to emphasize that particular point. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Farzana,
Okay,
moving on.
okay. So the next question is factorial of a given number. This is also asked in most of the interview questions. How to calculate a factorial of a number? Okay, factorial basically is a factorial of a positive number is in fact that is 1 into 2. That is if the factorial of 2 we need to have 2 factor equal to 1 into 2. How that is if the factorial of 5, that is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Okay, 5 fact is that. So we need to multiply up to that n number, up to that n. Okay, how many positive, which number is given to us? We need to multiply the numbers up to that n. Okay, so here we are like moving on to for loop and loops or loops only. Okay, so here we can implement the program using either using for loop or using while loop. Also we can implement the program. Okay, so I am giving the both examples of for loop and also how to do it in a while loop. So basically what we need to do is for which number we need to which number the factorial of which number we need to find out. We need to multiply the numbers up to that n. Okay, so n factorial is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into etc. up to n. Okay, so here the question is like we need to find the number of factorial of 10. Okay, so basically what we need to do is multiply up to 10. Okay, so first we have assigned, I have assigned the number 10 into a variable num. Okay, so num equal to 10, and we need to assign we need to assign not assign we need to give a variable for that factorial, that is for calculating that factorial and calculating and storing that factorial result. We need to assign one variable also. Okay, so for that thing I have assigned this long factorial. Okay, we can given us int or anything we can give in which data type we can give accordingly. Just make sure that it is if we are using long, we can store the variable, some more variable, because we can only store the bits like up to 128, minus 128 to 128. That in that limit only we can store in int. Okay, so or integer. So for storing long numbers, we can give the data type accordingly. Which data type, int or long, that is fine. Okay, so I have given long here for factorial long, and have assigned value 1 initially for factorial. Okay, now we need to give that loop, that is we need to multiply, right? For that we need to given that we given the loop for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to num, because we need to loop this number up to n, right? So I less than or equal to n or num. How many in which numbers factorial we need to have, and up to that we can give the condition. Okay, then I plus plus, either I plus plus or plus plus I, both are the same. Okay, first plus, if we are giving plus plus I, first increment, and then I value will first increment. Okay, so because here I equal to 1, and if we are giving plus plus I, it will first increment. Okay, that is 2. Firstly it will become 2, and if we are giving I plus plus, that is before printing I, it will increment. Okay, that is the difference between prefix and postfix operations. Okay, so inside that we can give that multiplication part. We can, okay, factorial equal to factorial into I. So factorial is, firstly it is 1, so 1 into I. Okay, 1 into I means I is also here. First, for the first condition it is 1, so 1 into 1. Okay, then 1 will assign to factorial. We can give the multiplication part either in both ways, that is factorial equal to factorial into I, or factorial into I, that is the operator. We can give either this operator for performing this multiplication. Okay, both are the same, both lines are the same, both the operators we can use. So here first for the first loop factorial become 1. Okay, then I will increment, so I equal to 2. Here's a condition is true, I less than or equal to 10, then I inside loop factorial is now 1, right? Factorial I into 1 into 2. Okay, so 2, the result 2 will store in the factorial. For the next loop, again I increment, I become 3, and multiplication is like, right, 2 into 3. Okay, the next part will come 2 into 3, so etc. up to n. So for the last thing, for the last loop, it will here in this condition, and the factorial for the last loop I equal to 10, and I less than or equal to num. Yes, it is less than or equal to num, and it will calculate the number, that is previous number into 10. Okay, that is 36288, and that is into 10. So we will get the factorial result in this factorial. So if we are printing factorial, we will get that. So I have printed factorial of percentile d. Percentile d, this percentile, in the percentile d the term is there, and I have passed num and factorial, so it will come in both the part. So factorial of 10 equal to 3628800. Okay, so the same thing we can do using a while loop. Okay, so what's the difference between a for loop and a while loop is, in the for loop we are giving first initialization condition, and increment also we are giving inside a for loop, right? But in the while loop we are giving only condition, and increment is inside the loop, right? That's the only difference, and initialization is also in the outside. Initialization of I also in the outside. So here also I have given 10 and a factorial value for storing a factorial value, and I also I have initialized in the outside the loop, and while conditions. Okay, so when satisfying the condition, it will come inside the loop, and factorial will multiply and I will increment inside the loop only. Okay, so that's the main difference between for loop and while loop. The conditions both are the entry control loops, and other operations are same like that. So here the program output of this program will be factorial of 10. So we can give any numbers accordingly, in which number. So also we can give the input using if here I have assigned the number 10, right? So if we want to if we want to write the input value, that is from keyboard, that is we need to give the input through keyboard. We can use system class. Okay, so scanner class, we can use scanner class. Using scanner class we can give the input through keyboard, and we can perform the operation. Okay, so I think you got it. Okay, so that's it, factorial of a given number. Okay, next one is Fibonacci series. This is also another question, or another question that is asked mainly in the interviews, that is a logical question. Here also we need to understand what's the logic of Fibonacci series. first we need to understand basically the logic. Then we can do in either way. Okay, using for loop or using while loop, we can do in either way. We can do the program. First, the basic thing is we need to understand only the logic. Okay, so what is Fibonacci series? Fibonacci series is a series where the next term is the sum of the previous two terms. That is, next term is the sum of previous two terms. Means if the here first term is 0, 1. 0, 1. Okay, first two term is 0, 1. So the third term is sum of previous two terms, that is 0 plus 1 is the third term, and the fourth term is 1 plus 1, that is 2, and accordingly. Okay, the next term is followed by the sum of previous two term. Okay, the first two terms of the always the first two term of a Fibonacci series is 0 and 1, and the next term is sum of these previous two terms. Okay, and accordingly we can continue. Okay, so if we need to print the Fibonacci series, that is up to 10. Okay, here I need to print the series up to 10. Okay, so we know the first two terms of a Fibonacci series, right? First term is 0 and second term is 1. So we need to assign, we need to give the first two terms firstly. Okay, so we can assign a equal to 0 and b equal to 1. Okay, and the limit n. Okay, we can give these three variables firstly, we can give. So then the next we can give a print statement Fibonacci series for printing, and we can output like a and b, because first two terms are a and b, this 0 and 1, right? So we can print a and b outside the loop itself, we can print that. Okay, a and b we have printed. So now inside the loop, so now we need to give the condition. Okay, I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n minus 2. Why n minus 2 is, we are given the first two numbers we already printed, right? First two terms, that is first two terms we are already printed. So we don't need, we are not need that terms again. That's why we are like given n minus 2. Okay. So I equal to 1, I less than n minus 2, I less than or equal to n minus 2. And inside the loop, we are like, we initialize the variable c and added these two terms, that is a and b. So here, for the first condition, 0 plus 1, a is 0 and b is 1, 0 plus 1, the result will store in c, that is 1. Okay, 1 will store in c, and inside that loop itself, we are printing c. Okay. So we will get the output 0, 1, 1 also we will get, right? And we are swapping the numbers. That is, now we need next to, for the next term, we need to add the previous two terms, right? So now we should have a equal to b, that is previous term, that's 1. This 1 should be in place of 0, and c should be in place of 1, right? Because we are always adding a plus b and storing the result to c, right? So we need to swap the numbers. Okay, always inside the loop itself. Okay, so we'll get in place of a, in the a we'll get 1, and in the b we'll get 2. So the new terms, new values of a and b are 1 and 2. So here 1 and 2 will come. 1 and 2 will come, and 1 plus 2 will store into c, the result of 1 plus 2, that is 3. Okay, that will store into c, and c will print. Now again the values will store swap. So the loop will continue up to n minus 2, I less than or equal to n minus 2, that is I less than or equal to 8. Okay, up to that the loop will continue. So we'll get first 10 terms of Fibonacci series. First 10 terms of Fibonacci series we'll get using this program. Okay, so that is Fibonacci series. That is, we are adding the Fibonacci series is next term is the sum of previous two terms. So we are adding the sum of previous two terms into the previous two terms and printing the result. Okay, so I think you get it. Fibonacci series. Okay, Fibonacci series, yeah, we can give this limit and we can print the terms up to that. Okay. Yeah. Next question is find whether the given number is prime or not. Okay. Now 1 second. Okay. Whether the given number is prime or not. So prime number is like, as you all know, the prime number is a number which is divisible by itself and 1 only, right? So we need to check whether the given number is prime or not. Okay, that question, if it is divisible by 1 and that number itself only, 1 and that number only, it is prime number, and if it is divisible by any other number, it is not a prime number. That's the thing we need to check. Okay. So here I have firstly initialize a value to x, that is 9, and a flag also I have set. Okay. So if it is just representing a flag, that is I'm like implementing this logic based on this setting a flag. Okay. So first we need to check that whether it is divisible by any other number. We need to check that thing, right? So if we can check whether it is divisible, number is divisible by 2 or 3, etc. So basically we can check with 2. Okay. So inside the for loop, I have assigned I equal to 2 firstly. Okay. And I less than x is 2, which is less than x. And inside that, if I mod x mod I, that is x mod 2, okay, equal to 0, that is remainder equal to 0. The remainder equal to 0 means it is divisible by 2, right? Modulus mod will give us remainder. Okay, note the division operator, this is modulus operator, it will give us the remainder, and the division operator will give us the quotient. Okay, that's the difference between the mod and division operator. Division operator and mod operator. Okay, mod operator always will give us the remainder, and division operator will always give us the quotient. Okay, so here we need to check whether the mod remainder is 0 or not. Okay, when we are dividing a number with 2, if it is the remainder is 0, that means it is divisible by 2, right? So if it is divisible by 2, if the remainder is 0, we are setting a flag to 0. Okay, firstly the flag is 1, and if it is divisible by 2, I am setting the flag as 0, and here I am breaking the loop. Okay, so that is the thing, that is the logical part for when checking whether the number is prime or not. And if the flag equal to 1 means we have set the flag 1 initially, right? It means it is like it is a prime number. And if the flag is set to 0, that is if the number is divisible by 2, it will set to 0, right? So the number is like not prime number. Okay, that's the thing. Prime or not. So in that way we can check whether the number is prime or not. Okay. So here the break is a keyword in Java. It will break the loop, or it will skip break a loop in a particular condition. If a condition is true, that will break. Okay, break the loop, break from that loop. Okay, there's two keywords in Java, break and continue. Okay, continue will skip a line in a condition. If in a condition, the continue will skip that line only, and break will skip the entire loop. Okay, exit from that loop. Break will exit from the loop, and continue will only skip that condition only. Okay, break and continue. And we can use break for this and implement the prime number logic accordingly. So this program will give us the output whether a given number is prime or not. Okay, also we can also we'll get the questions like to print first n prime numbers, or first n prime numbers, or they will give us to print first prime numbers in between 10 and 1 and 100, or in between 10 and 100, etc. The questions will come in like that. Also the questions will come, they will ask the questions. Logic is this thing. If we need to print the numbers in between, that is in a limit, that is in between 10 and 100, or up to 100, the prime numbers, the first 100 prime numbers or first 10 prime numbers, there we need to give a limit also. From starting and ending part also we need to give the condition check. The logical check is the same, whether the only thing we need to check is it is divisible by 2 or 3, any other numbers, it is whether it is divisible or not. Okay, that's the only thing we need to do. So next we can move on to another question that is also asked commonly asked question, that is reversing a number. Okay, that is, if the number is 1 2 3 4, we need to reverse that number, that is 4 3 2 1. Okay, how to do reversing a number or string. String also we need to reverse a string or number, the both thing we can get. How to reverse that, how to reverse the number or string or something. Okay, so here if we are giving number 1 2 3 4 5 6 and we need to reverse that number, how to do? Okay, so here we can use while loop. Again, we can use for loop also. We can use for loop or while loop. Anything we can use for this thing also, for reversing also. Okay, so while number not equal to 0, first for entering into a loop, we need to check the number is 0 or not, right? So number not equal to 0 we have checked. If number not equal to 0, it will get inside the loop. And first we need, what we need to do is we need to get this mode. Okay, mode check. So I have initialized the variable digit. Inside that digit I have mode check. Okay, num mode 10. So it will give me the remainder, that is 4, right? So inside this digit there's 4. First I will get 4. Okay, that is remainder when divisible by 10, when dividing by 10, 1 2 3 4, when dividing by 10, the remainder is 4, right? So that thing will get first. Okay, then inside this reverse firstly we are assigned to 0 and reversed into 10, that is 0 into 10. 0 into 10 means 0, right? 0 plus 4. So we'll get into this reverse, we'll get 4 into that, right? And num by 10, that is we need to get the quotient also, right? So we are doing num by 10 also. So now num is what? 1 2 3, right? The quotient. Okay, so in the num part we will get 1 2 3, and inside num we will get 1 2 3, and inside reverse we will get 4. Okay, so again the condition will check num not equal to 0 or no. Yes, num not equal to 0. Now the num is 1 2 3. Okay, 4 is in the reversed variable. Inside this reverse, the 4 we get 4, and inside num we get 1 2 3. So in 1 2 3 mode 10, next loop 1 2 3 mode 10 we'll check, and inside digit we'll get 3. Okay, so again reversed into 10 plus digit. So here now reversed is 4, right? 4 into 10 plus 3. Okay, so 4 into 10 means 40 plus 3, that is 43 we will get. Okay, so inside the reversed we will get, we now get 43, and num equal to num mode 10, right? Num equal to num mode 10. If we are doing num equal to num mode 10, now num is, now inside num it is 1 2 3, and num by 10 we will get 12. and 3 remainder 12. The quotient is 12 only. Okay. So now the number is 12. Okay. I think you get it. Now the number is only 12. So again it will come and check well num not equal to 0 or not. Yes, not equal to 0 because num is 12. And 12 mod 10 will get 2. Okay. Inside digit we'll get 2, and now reverse this 43, right? 43 into 10 plus 2. Okay, so 430 plus 2, 432. Okay, again num by 10. So num by 10 it will get 1. Okay, 1 only will get the quotient, and num not equal to 0. Yes, num not equal to 0. And inside digit it is like 0, 1. It is like 1, right? So again it will check 432 into 10 plus digit, that is 4320 plus digit, that is plus 1. Okay, 4321. So num by 10 is 0. So here the num, finally the num becomes 0, right? So again the condition, again in the loop will increment, and here the condition num not equal to 0. Yes, num not equal to 0. So the loop will exit and we can print the reverse. Inside this reverse we are having 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so like this way, like that way we can reverse a number. Okay, I think you get it. Firstly we are like checking the mode and adding to that reverse and then dividing. Okay. So we can move on to next program. Okay. Just a second. So if we need to reverse a string also, we can do it in this way. Yeah, we can do it in this way also. This way we can first assign a string, and we need to check the length of the string. If we are like doing reversing a string, we need to check the length of a string first and then reverse that string. Okay. So the next question is like palindrome or not. That is also a commonly asked question, palindrome or not. So palindrome is if we are reversing like if we are reversing a number, it is the same number, right? 1 to 1. If you are reversing the number also, that is 1 to 1. So the logic is, I think you get it. We can first reverse the number, the number, and check that the reverse the number and the original number is same or not, equal or not, and then if equal it is palindrome, if not equal it is not palindrome, right? So the program is right like that. We can first assign a num 1 to 1, and I have assigned 3 variables, that is original num, reverse num, and remainder. Okay. So first to the original number I have assigned this number. Okay, 1 to 1. So in the original, inside this original number there is 1 to 1. So while number not equal to 0, the same logic that we done in the reversing a number program. Okay, the same logic. First we need to reverse that number. Okay, so when reversing the number, we'll get the reverse the number in reverse number. Inside this reverse num, we'll get that reverse the number, right? So so yeah, first we can assign a number and then reverse that number, and then check if whether the original number is equal to reverse number or not. Okay, so if it is equal to reverse number, it is palindrome, and if it is not equal to reverse number, it is not a palindrome. Okay, that's it. So that is the logic of palindrome number. Also, we will have that palindrome string also. That is, we need to reverse the string by calculating the length of a string. We can reverse the string, and we can check whether the original string is not equal or not equal to reverse string, and we can say that the original, if it is equal, it is palindrome, and not equal, it is not palindrome. Okay, that is in case of string. So these are the questions that is commonly asked for interview from loops. Okay, also we can we can ask to print a multiplication table, also count, etc. We can ask what to say, to print a number in ascending order or descending order, etc. That's all. These are the questions also come in from this part, that is from loops part. Okay, mainly multiplication table and all we can simply simply implement by giving a loop, for loop and all. We can implement that thing. Okay, so in the prime number, if we can like I said, we can ask to print that number up to this, up to a limit, like first 100 prime numbers, or first what to say, first 10 prime numbers, etc. That's the other questions that comes from prime number part. And reverse and palindrome, etc. commonly asked questions. Okay, here what the examples I have shown, all the program or logic only have shown, and this thing we can implement in any ways, like we can implement the in methods, using methods, or using OOPS concepts, that is in using any method we can do. The only thing is you need to understand the logical part. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today, and if any other doubts are there, you can leave it in comment section.
Okay, thank you, Fasana, for the wonderful session. Actually, we were able to discuss almost all the legacy interview questions that we usually asked in all the QA or typical core Java interviews. So it will be really helpful for you to prepare for the upcoming interviews. Basically, before even interview, one day back, you can just come to our channel and go through this program and what logic behind all those programs, and you can prepare well for your upcoming interviews. So, now it's the time to wind up. So, thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.